when we interviewed Henny Patu, now Henny Patu was involved not only in the raid on Liliesleaf, but in the arrest of Nelson. And when we interviewed him, we brought him here, and he was very open. He talked about it and explained the whole thing. He describes how they drove in a dry cleaning laundry truck. And interestingly, as it drove down the path and stopped outside the main house, Rusty Bernstein, who was sitting here, looked out the window and said, "Oh my God, I saw that van parked outside the police station on my way here." And as he said that, literally, and then there was a knock on the door, and it was Thomas Mashafani. So as he was finishing the sentence and a knock on the door, literally the doors of the van opened up and out jumped the police. But when they got to the gate, they literally asked the guy and said, "Is anyone here?" And he said, "No." So they started to reverse. As they were reversing, someone said to Lieutenant van Veek, "What should we do?" And he said, "Well, okay, while we're here, let's raid." Literally. The raid was supposed to take place at 1 o'clock, but it took place around 3:15, 3:20, about 15 minutes after the meeting started. So had they raided when they were originally supposed to raid at 1, the only person they would have found here was Ahmed Cathadra, who'd come the night before. The others, like Walter, Govan, and Raymond Mashlaba, they were staying at the other farm that had just been purchased by Dennis Goldberg called Trevelyan, because Liliesleaf was about to shut down and operations were to move to Trevelyan. So they came. Also, so you have this situation whereby you have them raiding, but asking the guy at the gate, "Is anyone here?" They were supposed to raid at 1 because they decided, the commander said to Lieutenant van Veek, "We're concerned. You cannot raid without the correct legal documents," because he was concerned that they may get an English-speaking judge who would throw everything out and say there was no search warrant and things of that nature. So they had to wait for someone to go back to the Greys to pick up the necessary documentation and come back. And while they were waiting, Dennis Goldberg drove by with Govan, Raymond, and Walter in the combi. So they literally drove by the waiting police. It was a tip-off about Walter being here. Lieutenant Colonel Vandenberg, beg your pardon, he said was a megalomaniac, media hungry, and had he known what was here on the day of the raid, he said they wouldn't have come with 16 policemen and a dog named Cheetah. He said he would have come with hundreds of police. The entire area, he said, would have been cordoned off, and there would be an entourage of media, which clearly illustrates that they did not know what they were going to find here. And interestingly also, Dennis and Ahmed Cathadra remember the police saying, someone in the police saying, "We've hit the jackpot."
We were caught, and I must tell you, Kathy, I don't know if you remember that day. It was a winter's day.
Yeah.
And when we were arrested, I tell you, it got cold.
But
I felt freezing.
I had my own coat.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
You're lucky. We didn't. But I meant it was psychologically. It froze.
In all probability, we think it was the CIA who had given up Walter Sisulu's location and said he was at Liliesleaf. And they came merely to arrest Walter that day.